Hey, Scott Larson here with a little video on the 2018 Alfa Romeo Stelvio. One of the things that we found out very shortly after buying the Stelvio was that the stereo on the inside, even though it was the premium stereo, Harmon Kardon, it was subpar, I'll just put it that way. And one of the ways that it was subpar is just that the bass speaker was almost non-existent as far as the sound goes. So I went ahead and I replaced that speaker with a different one, and I was just going to show a little video on how I did that. So hopefully this helps. So here's the rear of the Stelvio, and this does have the rails, and it does have, like I said, that Harmon Kardon sub, which is right here. And basically, if you take this off, you're going to see underneath the compartment that has the speaker in it, and it's right here. I did have to do some carving of the foam in order to get that speaker in, and I can show that to you real quick. This has to come out, this center section, which is foam, just comes right out. So you can see right in here, this used to be a square, and I basically just used a knife. It was actually a knife used for drywall, and I just cut that out. And the other thing that I had to do was down here, you're gonna see some cables. This is the power cable that goes to the speaker, and then to the, take this off here. You can see it just goes to the positive terminal on the battery. So just a little hole there, and then I've got a hole right here for the ground cable coming from the speaker. And then going to, I don't know if you can see this down here or not, but right down here, you can see that there's a screw that, it was a self-tapping screw that actually came with the kit that I purchased. And it's just, screwed right into the frame, or to the sheet metal that's right beside the battery. I'm going to put this back on here, and then you can see here, I just have the wires from the speaker here. These are actually tapped into the sub input, and I'll show you how I did that. That's going to be behind this panel right here, which I'll take off for you in just a minute. So, but this is just kind of the general layout of what I had to do to the foam and kind of how this speaker is hooked up. So the first thing you want to do when you're looking to take this panel apart is, number one, you're going to want to fold your seats down so you have access to the panel fully, and then basically right underneath this latch right here, there is a screw, which I've already taken out, right here. I believe it's a T30 head on there. Now, I didn't have one, so I used an Allen wrench, which you can see how I kind of mangled that up a little bit. And then there's going to be this cap, which is actually on top of where that screw is, which I just used a just a little knife like this to pry. I just took and pried it up. So I know that they make tools for doing this kind of thing at AutoZone. I just don't have those tools. So anyways, again, that screw is located right behind here. You can see it right there. And really, that is about the extent of what's holding that panel on. It's covered by, you can see here, this gasket. So what you're going to need to do is kind of work. You can see it just comes right up. And this big panel here too, you just kind of like go like this and get it out from underneath that gasket. You should be able to pull it up. I'll video it more when I get it. Okay, so once you have this panel pulled out, it does take some pulling. It's got these clips on the back side here, right here, that are all sticking in to some receivers, and it does take a little bit of pulling. So go ahead and pull. Don't be afraid of breaking anything. It should come out. Make sure it's not super cold outside when you're doing this. You can see on the back side here, there are some connecting items which you may want to disconnect. This little, for that latch, you could disconnect this guy here, and then this is for the light on the other side and the 12 volt. So you may want to disconnect that as well before going any further. Also, they have these Christmas trees, or we call them Christmas trees, these little plastic keepers right here that just kind of push through here and into that hole. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's two of them. There's one right here, and then there's one over here, which I already took out. Those need to be taken off as well before you go any further. And then that's actually about the only thing left that's holding this whole panel on here. And it should just kind of pull right, I'm not gonna say it's gonna pull out easy, but you can see down here how it's underneath that plastic piece right there. You kind of got to work that up. And actually, I remember last time I did this, I had to pull this plastic piece off right here, which was a little bit of a pain, and it was kind of a pain to get back on, but that's really the only thing left that's holding this on. Okay, so I did just get it. You can see here, I just kind of took and whacked it this way, and it kind of came right up, so I can just pull this up here now. It should just come right up. All right, gonna be a little bit of a booger to me. Well, you can see back here, you've got your sub, and I'm not going to take that panel off completely because I don't need to. But you can see right in here, there's a green and a black wire. And you can see here, these are my taps that I used. They just basically pierce the plastic coating and touch the wire underneath. I got one on the black, one on the green. Got my wire right here going into the back side of it. And then see this little channel right here? Those wires go in that channel, and that channel goes right underneath this aluminum frame here. And then they just come out right here and go into my speaker. I have, on this particular speaker, I have the ability to either go with the original speaker wire or the RCA plugs. So here I went with the high power inputs instead of the RCA. If you're going to go RCA, you need to get a line out converter or an LOC to convert the signal. I didn't have to. You'll see here, I did have to jumper. You've got those, basically it's ground, your power, and then there's that remote. And I had to jumper to the remote simply because I wasn't getting enough of a signal from the sub speaker over here to get it to turn on. So basically it's on all the time. You can see even right now that red light down there is indicating that that speaker is on. I have to keep the power on all the time, and I was concerned about the battery going dead in the vehicle. And quite honestly, I've not had one problem at all. I've had this hooked up for probably at least 3 months now. We'll see how it lasts in the winter, but I do drive this daily for work, and I've had no issues at all. So again, that's how I hooked up this speaker. It sounds a lot better than it did before. Really enjoying my bass heavy music now. So, well, I hope this helped, and if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them my way. Thanks.